It's now my privilege to introduce the keynote speaker for our 26th annual convention. Kindra Montgomery-Block is Vice President for Diversity, Inclusion, and Social Impact for the Sacramento Kings. We are thrilled to have Kindra join us to share her background and work surrounding inclusive excellence. She has worked in community impact within higher education, public health, the nonprofit sector, and now professional sports. She was named one of Northern California's exceptional women of color by the Hub magazine and a Comstock magazine Young Visionary Leader. As our association celebrates the 50th anniversary of Title IX, I look forward to learning how Kindra has approached her impact work with the Kings organization and the Sacramento community. I look forward to learning from her how we can look to further incorporate diversity, equity, and inclusion in our association, athletic departments, and sport programs. Again, please join me in welcoming Kindra to the stage. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Jennifer, and just good morning to you all, and happy Women's Empowerment Month. We're winding that month down, and just super excited to be here with you all in the 3C2A. Not only am I super honored to be here at the 26th annual convention, I'm happy to be here with you all to lift the work of my colleagues at the Sacramento Kings, the Golden One Center, the Stockton Kings, Kings Guards Gaming, and now the newly acquired River Cats. I do want to just take a moment to thank Catherine and Jennifer and the wonderful staff that has really welcomed me. And to all of you all who joined us at the game on Monday night, we got a chance to beam tonight, so I hope you guys are still going to be able to watch while they're at Portland. This morning, I'd like to talk to you all about the importance and intersectionality between DEI, the 3C2A, the advancement of Title IX, economic justice, community health, and racial justice. The role and platform that I have at the Kings allows me to continue to make these conversations explicit throughout our state and our nation, and I hope the work that we're doing here at the Kings you find valuable, and you find something that you can build on and tell your staff and your students about the importance of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Before we get started, I want to talk to you all about probably my most favorite speech that Dr. Martin Luther King said actually in 1967 at Stanford University. King made his case for economic inclusion by describing two Americas. One America is beautiful, he said, and in a sense, this America is overflowing with milk and honey and prosperity and opportunity. This America is the habitat of millions of people who have food and the material necessities for their bodies and their culture, their education, their minds, and their freedom, and their human dignity for their spirits. The other America has a daily ugliness about it that constantly transforms the ebulliency of hope into fatigue and despair, he said. They find themselves perishing on a lonely island of poverty in the midst of a vast ocean of material prosperity. Advancing and sustaining Title IX requires bridge builders. The 3C2A is that bridge builder across California and in many, many communities. You all have the opportunity to use DEI through sports to not only push civil rights issue, but to push the civil rights issue of our time, which I believe is economic justice. I'm going to tell you what we're doing at the Kings. I'm also going to just tell you a little bit about my background. So I'm a little bit younger than I look, at least I think I'm a little bit younger than I look. And I've had a very colored career, but my first job was an internship at the Clippers about 20-something years ago, and that internship at the Clippers really let me know that I did not want to work for the NBA. And that's a good thing, because internships are supposed to let you know what you like and what you don't like. And what I did know after that season in 2001, I definitely didn't want to work for the third team at the Staples Center while they were battling the Lakers and the Kings. It was just not a good scenario for me. And so I really walked away from the MBA and directly into political science and social justice, and have really been moving my career down that path pretty successfully, like I said, over the last 20 years. I have worked in Riverside County, building schools and school reform. I have done school reform and higher education up and down this state, and the School of Education at UC Davis, leading what we called the Center for Community School Partnerships, that just use schools as hubs of services to prioritize both education and academics. I then went from Davis to the Sierra Health Foundation here locally and ran a very successful health equity initiative called the Black Child Legacy Campaign, where we just worked on making sure that those preventable deaths that African American children seem to have continuously in our community were prevented, and was running down that pathway and doing very good down that pathway. And then one day I got a call and it was like, hey, Kindra, you're doing so good at this health equity, racial justice work here in our region. Would you mind coming over to the Sacramento Kings and helping lead our DEI work? I'm from Sacramento, born and raised, and when you have the opportunity to work for the home team and actually be the first African American vice president woman, you have to take a step back and be like, okay, God, I think that this might be a good transition for me. And so for the past 18 months, I've been working at the Sacramento Kings, not far from here, working to build our DEI structures. And so what you're going to see in my presentation today is really the work that we've been doing over the past 18 months. I could not be more prouder of our team, more prouder of my colleagues that have really stood up in this Sacramento region post-COVID, post a lot of historical inequities that we've seen over the last couple of years, to bring pride to our town, to bring notoriety to our town, and to do it with the regional flair and diversity that Sacramento is really known for. So let me introduce myself again. My name is Kindra Montgomery-Block. I'm the Vice President of Diversity, Inclusion, and Social Impact at the Sacramento Kings, the first ever. And I don't say that to pat my on the back, but I say that knowing that we have a lot of work to do in sports and entertainment, being a male-dominated society. I'm back after 20 years in the NBA. The Clippers didn't run me off, and I get to work for the home team. Thank you. So what are we doing at the Kings? Again, as a multi-team sports franchise, we pride ourselves on the strength of a diversity in our region. The Sacramento Kings actively commit to fostering professional sports environment that supports diversity, equity, inclusion. We call that DEI, D-E-and-I. Some folks call it DEI-B, which is diversity, equity, and belonging. But for the purpose of this conversation, it's DEI. And this commitment really empowers us to uphold our mission and our vision to create a world-class sports franchise. We are not just the Sacramento Kings, we're the Sacramento Kings Basketball Holdings LLC, which just basically means that we have a lot of sports and entertainment umbrellas under our business. And what you see represented here are all of those sports teams. Again, the Sacramento Kings, the Golden One Center, that's our entertainment hub over there. We do all of the bookings for any live tours, wrestlings, PBA, do you know what that is? That bull riding stuff. We do monster trucks. You name it. They put dirt in the arena and it transforms overnight. It's quite beautiful. We also have the Stockton Kings, which is our G unit league down in Stockton, who just clinched the Western finals. We are number one. We have Stockton Guard Gaming, which is our E-team that is, again, across the nation playing 2K basketball against a lot of other teams. We also just acquired the River Cats. So right across our River District, across our Gold Bridge there, are the River Cats at Sutter Field Park. And we're really excited to have the minor league baseball team of the Giants. How do we define our DEI mission? So part of what I did was come into the team and I was like, well, how does everybody define DEI? Let's get on the same page about creating a common language, right? And so for the Kings, at the Kings, right, we define our mission around DEI is that we connect the unifying power of sports and entertainment to increase diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging in the Sacramento region. Our vision is that we're going to continue to leverage the creative power of professional sports and entertainment to celebrate and highlight the unique communities, legacies, cultures, heritage that impact our world. We've got a pretty great visionary in our president and chairman, Vivek Ranadive, who has really set out to all of us across our 15,000 staff members to make sure that when you come into our building, that you feel you are in a world-class experience. From the moment you enter that door to the moment that you leave, we want you to come back. And for us, that really means celebrating each other, recognizing our cultures, and using those 42 basketball games, home games here, to make sure we bring in the right people. We connect not only our cultures, our heritage, but those theme nights that really drive also our revenue, and to make sure that those things are connected to our corporate partnerships. It's a pretty big, wonderful circle. A lot of you all got to tour our fourth floor offices at the Sawyer, and really I wanted to walk you all around that building so you understood all of the different positions that are not just basketball operations or basketball court positions, but really the positions that help run the front office, that all of you, your staff, your colleagues, and hopefully potentially your students will want to be involved in one day. And so if you walk around our office, you'll find that there is social responsibility, there is marketing, there is creative, there is digital content, there is data and analytics. Most of you got to talk to Riz, who just works on the trends of the tickets. When I tell you we're in playoffs, it's the trends of the tickets. I can't even understand it, but they've got experts that do this and they do it well. Riz is one of them. Defining DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. For us, diversity as a continuum of identities, experiences, abilities, skills, and perspectives that are respected and valued. Equity, an environment free of bias in which everyone has equal access to the opportunities and are empowered to achieve their full potential. Inclusion, as a professional sports and entertainment environment in which all are respected and able to contribute their full creativity to making sure that our games and our entertainment is the best, most happiest place on earth. Our objectives, because at the end of the day, I am academic. That 10 years at Davis did me well in the School of Education. I want to make sure that we have measurable objectives. The things that we push out are things that we tie back to our strategic plan. Our first is to promote a collaborative, supportive environment in which all employees are engaged. The next is to identify and build opportunities to continue to bring in additional diversity, equity, and inclusion resources into our entertainment and sports arena. Next is to ensure that our fans, our community, our staff members, and stakeholders are provided with the cultural knowledge. We actually educate our fans when you come into our building, and to educate, create that cultural knowledge and the services that increase our market growth, right? What we know is that we want to make sure that we have more fans and seats. More butts and seats, that's what drives our revenue. And the way that you do that is making sure people feel really good in your building, right? That they can identify with you, that they feel welcomed, that them themselves are honored, their culture and their identity can be connected through that Kings brand. And then ultimately, we practice service leadership, right? We serve our community by supporting diverse and inclusive organizations all 365, all along the way. How do we do this? We have a few structures in place that we've been working on deeply. The first is the 20-member Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council. We have 7 employee-driven resource groups. You're going to hear me talk about ERGs. Our ERGs are the heartbeat of our organization. DEI is intertwined into everyone's roles and responsibilities. It's just not my job to do DEI, it's everybody's job to do DEI. And so in our job descriptions, when we recruit, we're looking for folks that have that lens. And then, of course, they hired me as the DEI person about 18 months ago to help lead this work. The pillars, again, things that we're standing up and we're moving strong on is leadership. Again, training our staff, educating, providing training, professional development, and allyship, mentorship for every staff member. We're making sure that we're keen on our workforce, that we're building a talent acquisition process and recruitment process that looks and feels like the demographics in our region, not only because it's the right thing to do, but also because the NBA requires us to do that. The NBA looks at all 30 of the teams across the nation, looks at their demographic data for every region, and says, hey, let's juxtapose this against who's in your office, who's on your basketball court, and who's living around you. And so those very real data concerns and questions are not just being brought up by myself, but all the way at the league office. And honestly, it's very helpful to have those good conversations, courageous conversations at times. And then our brand, we want to make sure that whatever has the Kings logo on it looks and feels like a world-class franchise, and that our inclusive business strategies, our corporate strategies, our services, our data, our investments, and our infrastructure really represent the social justice brand and the economic mobility that is represented in the Golden One Arena, 2 blocks away from the world's 4th largest economy in the world's in the Sacramento capital. And it's really, really important for us that we bring that into our building as well. I'm going to talk to you a little about our ERG process, because I think that this is a sweet spot that all of you all can take up in your individual your schools and your organizations, right? Back at your own departments. So for us, our ERGs are central to our organization. Our goal is to create an inclusive place where people want to go to work, want to build with each other, where employees feel welcome to bring their whole selves. Our ERGs are open to everyone, so it doesn't matter your race, creed, or color. If you want to join that ERG, it's open to you. And the membership is created through a universal but targeted approach. So yes, it is by ethnicity. Yes, it might be by gender, but again, it's open to everyone, universal but targeted. And everyone is encouraged to apply. We just finished our spring recruitment, and we asked people, if you're going to apply to be on an employee resource group, that you serve at least a 2-year term, and that you commit to at least 1 to 2 hours outside of your normal work life. And we have a very busy work life. I'm sure you all do too, working in sports. That we do ask the folks to work effectively with a diverse group of Kings team members, departments across all of our organizations and communities to build alliances, partnerships. It's very easy for us to say, hey, to one of the chambers, ethnic chambers, can we work with you on this? Can we bring this particular restaurant into our building? We work very closely on those things. And then, of course, it's fun and fellowship. The way that you create a winning basketball team or any team, I know that you all know this, is to make sure folks are having fun, that they're connected to the community, again, their cultures and traditions that really bring support to their everyday. So we have a DEI council, and we have 7 employee resource groups. I'm going to go through all of them, but I'll just name them really quickly. The DEI Council, we have an AAPI, Asian American Pacific Islander group. We have Black and Beyond, KPAC, which is our King's parents, allies, and caregivers. We have an LGBTQIA group. We have our ASU Needles group. We have a Women in Sports Network, has been super busy this month. We just concluded an all-team meetup with an interview with our COO, Martina Kanalakas, and our Lieutenant Governor, Lainey Kanalakis too, which they're cousins. I didn't know that. So, but pretty cool to have them in our building on Monday to talk to our both male and female staff about their leadership and building both the state of California and our local basketball team. And then we have our Young Professionals Network, which is our newest one that just launched in the fall. This is our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council. Again, that 20-person team member. What I can tell you about the DEI Council is that it is diversely represented throughout our entire building. So whether you're in basketball operations, you're in content, you're in marketing, you're in finance, all of these team members that you see here represent those departments and have applied to be on our DEI Council with, again, a commitment to serve and help make sure that we are accountable to the strategic plan that we built around DEI. This is our Women in Sports Network. Again, this is probably the group that has been with it the longest when you think about the ERG. They were established in 2017 prior to me coming, and they've got some really, really great leadership already. And what we've been doing is making sure that we create opportunities for more women to join, opportunities for us to work across the nation with all the other Women in Sports networks and our 30 other teams, and making sure that in months like Women's Empowerment Month that we stand up together and that we continue to show our male colleagues the level of leadership that is among the women in our team. Their definition is that this group was founded to build upon the King's commitment to provide a safe, positive, empowering workplace for women while also promoting career advancement and inclusion. This internal group focuses on supporting female team members through professional skill training, recruitment, mentorship, and networking efforts. This is led by, our chair for this group is led by our Senior Director of Partnerships and Business, Nicole Lascavio. Next, we have Black and Beyond. Our Black and Beyond Employee Resource Group celebrates and promotes the diverse talents of the Sacramento Kings Black team members. Through professional development initiatives and community service, it encourages members to strengthen their networks by providing opportunities to share their experiences and best practices in the sports industry. It serves as a resource for strategic business initiatives and promotes the continued growth of the retention of Black team members. We have our Asian Pacific Islander group. They're working on supporting and empowering AAPI team members, the recruitment and retention of AAPI team members, facilitating professional development among themselves, and promoting AAPI educational and cultural and social awareness, and is led by our chair, Kim Allen, who is the director of Arena Marketing. We have our LGBTQIA+ group. This employee resource group serves to foster an inclusive, open community, advancing equality for all and visibility of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and allied people. The ERG consists of LGBTQIA+ individuals and allies interested in building community, and they invite everyone to join them as well. And this chair is led by Carl Crudup, Director of Event Sales and Production. Reyes Unidos. Reyes Unidos Employee Resource Group is dedicated to celebrating the rich history, culture, professional development, and contribution of the Latinx community and our workplace. The Latinx ERG will work to further promote a culture of inclusion, engagement, and awareness in the workforce while embracing our true, authentic selves. The Latinx ERG will provide platform for open dialogue within our organization and the communities that they reach. The chair is Andrew Garcia, and he is the Director of Premium Sales. KPAC, our King's Parents, Allies, and Caregivers. KPAC provides an inclusive space for our parents and allies to discuss how they are feeling, speak freely about what challenges and successes their families are experiencing, and request what they need from the Sacramento Kings to help them achieve their career objectives while simultaneously being superheroes to their families. They help parents stay up to date and informed on what resources, policies, and benefits and programs are available to them, and they support and identify opportunities that will spark joy and support within the KPAC ERG. And this is led by Amanda Blagg. She's an account manager in our ticket sales and services membership sales. Our Young Professionals Network, I told you, is our newest group. Our Young Professionals Network is an employee resource group that works to promote a culture of diversity and inclusion amongst young staff and allies, and to do so by providing personal and professional resources in an uplifting and powerful environment. YPN strives to cultivate a place that gives a voice to young professionals and allies, challenging internal and external forces impacting the workplace, relationships between new and traditional methods, and they support each other as we take on life's personal and professional stressors. And that's led by two chairs, Hannah Bassi, who just got promoted to our corporate sales side, and Kira Morla, who's our public relations coordinator. I read all of our 7 employee resource groups definitions because those are the voices of the King's staff members. That's not something I edited. That's not something that our PR team edited. This is what they wrote. This is what they felt like as a group, and this is how they're creating and sharing leadership amongst our entire team. I think it's really important to bring their voices into the room because they're the heartbeat of what's going on right now. They're the heartbeat of why it feels good to work at the Kings. They're the heartbeat of why we're beaming. And their voices should be in this room, and how they're thinking and how they're building and how they're advancing DEI is important. Sacramento is a city of pride, a city of community, innovation, and heart. From our fans to our staff, players, and community, we have an opportunity and a responsibility to positively impact the world both on and off the court.
And we stand here before you, old, young, black, white, brown, and we are all united in our commitment to make the world a better place, starting with our own community.
At the Kings, we are passionate about creating an environment that advances diversity, equity, and inclusion in every aspect of our organization and our surrounding communities.
We recognize that we are stronger because of our differences, and we value diverse perspectives to generate more ideas, spark innovation, and connect us closer to one another. We are a family, united not by our differences, but through a common hunger to see this city prosper. So join us.
Join us.
Join us.
In building more inclusive, diverse, and equitable pathways for the future of Sacramento and Kings fans everywhere. Again, just really proud of our team. So I invite you to join us. I invite you into our region. I invite you into our DEI work. I invite you into economic prosperity and mobility. I mean, using your bridges in the 3C2A to build that strategy. These are all things that are replicable and sustainable at each and every one of your colleges and universities and institutions. This is what we're doing at professional sports. I hope you all can create pathways to do this in your communities as well. If you take a picture of this particular, what is that, one of those thingies? Yeah, the QR code. You will find the entire folks that lead our DEI Council, and you'll find me. You will also find all of our chairs for our ERGs. They would love to speak with every last one of you all about the work that they're doing, sharing leadership, and beaming in Sacramento. So join us in our season of winning, and we invite you into our buildings. I'm glad you guys are came to the game. We invite you into our business strategy, which is our downtown commons area there. And, you know, I always say that God always gives you a little bit more than you can dream up for yourself, and that definitely is me right now. Thank you very much. I do have just a few minutes to take a few questions, but before I get started, I wanted to make sure you guys, I always do a head, heart, and feet as a way to debrief. If you guys would like to do a head, heart, and feet, all you gotta do is draw a head, a heart, and a feet, and amongst your teams, think about in your head, what are you thinking about my presentation, the information that I shared with you? How are you feeling about it? How can you also, in the feet, take it back to your own campuses? I'll let you guys just jot a few notes. Again, head, heart, and feet. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? And what are some of the action pieces that you might be able to bring back to your home team as well? And then we'll start with some questions, if that's cool. So we'll take a couple minutes to do that. Head, heart, and feet. Again, what are you thinking about DEI? How do you feel about this work around DEI? And what are some of the action steps that you can bring back? That's what I was doing earlier. You can use your phone. I kind of say head, heart, and feet. Yeah, is it good? Okay. I'm going to give you all just one more minute to think about head, heart, and feet. All right, team, we're going to come back together just in light of time, but I would love if anyone would like to stand up and share their head, heart, and feet with me. Going once. Going twice. Okay, clap once if you can hear me. Clap 2 times if you can hear me. Okay, good. Clap 3 times if you're listening. Okay, good. I want to know if anyone would like to share their head, heart, and feet. Anybody? That's good. I'll take it.
So one of the very first slides inspired me to, at my school, I have what I thought was a really good mission, vision, and value statement for our athletic department. And I realized that I haven't reviewed it. I've been there since my 8th year, and I haven't reviewed it in 8 years. So what I put down in my notes was go back and review to make sure that we're including the concepts of DEI in that mission, vision, and values of my athletics department. I think our school overall has done a really good job, but I always try to be one step better than the school overall. So
That's right.
my defeat. That's what I'm thinking.
I'll take it. I'll take that. Anything I can do to help, let me know. Great.
I already followed you on LinkedIn.
That's good. Anybody else? Head, heart, or feet? Oh, right here. Thank you.
So I'll share my feet. So when you were going over all the different groups, it's really reminiscent of our affinity groups that we have on campus. And so as someone who runs my school's student athlete success center, I was telling them my goal has been to really connect with those affinity groups, like the Black Student Success Center, the LGBT Pride Center, all of those. And I just need to get a kick in the butt and just do it. Instead of saying I want to do it, I need to march in there next Monday and just collaborate with them.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, that's good to know. That's cool. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I hope you all take this particular activity back to your teams as well. Just really thinking through, what does your DEI look like, right? What are we doing? How do we feel about it? And what are some of the action pieces that we as a team can come up with to better strengthen our service in community and to our students? Any questions from me? Okay. And then just in closing, you all, I truly believe that advancing and sustaining Title IX requires bridge builders. I believe that the 3C2A is those bridge builders deep in community. You guys have the education, the economic equity, and the inclusion, and the civil rights really behind you all to do that. I believe that COVID has put this on truth for our community, the marginalizations in really, really epic ways. But your institutions have the opportunity to be those bridge builders. And so I'm hoping that through the work that I've shared with you today that we're doing in professional sports, the things that you all are doing, again, at the community college level, in athletics, in sports, really has the opportunity to build bridges in community and build stronger and more sustainable efforts around Title IX. So thank you very much.